So, we are about to have another dance time, story time moment. Because last time I had such a blast. I intended for it to be such a 15 quick little minute intro video to our Resident Evil series, but I had so much fun doing it. I felt like it provided such an opportunity to kind of go in depth about series of events that have happened in my life, kind of in the storytelling method through music. I think music tells so many stories so deeply, and I thought this was a perfect opportunity to kind of have this kind of a series moment for 2024, a retrospect kind of, because to me, I feel like 2024 was definitely one of those years. It was just unmatched. I know we're only a couple of months into 2025, but somehow the energy just doesn't feel like it's still there. Not that good music isn't being released. I thought this was a perfect opportunity to go through these kind of every 3 months or so. I would make a playlist of all my favorite songs. I could kind of talk about them and where I was in my life, and maybe you guys can share some of your favorite songs from 2024. But I was, putting together these playlists, and I kind of integrated human design, what makes me dance the most, what I love the most, into these playlists, and they have just been so goated to me. And yeah, and just kind of have this little dance story time moment, this little 2024 retrospect series in these songs that were released, because I feel like 2024, I don't know about other people, but for me, this is gonna be one of those years where each year is gonna pass and I'm gonna be like, damn, I wish it was 2024 again. Kind of like how people are like, damn, I wish the charts looked like 2010 again. Something about 2024 had that fucking magic. All right, so we are going to start with my September 24th playlist from 2024. At this point in my life, the time, I made this on September 24th, obviously. This was at the time when I still had my heart broken by that dude that dismissed my very deep, heartfelt message with a very quick, do you wanna fuck message? So, I was really dealing with these feelings of fuck you. I am the goated. There's nothing wrong with me for wanting something as, you don't think it'd be much just to ask to be friends with somebody. But clearly it was too much for him, allegedly. I think the most resonance from this playlist came from the very end of October. This was when I had my psycho-spiritual firmware upgrade. We're not calling it psychosis anymore. Fuck you. I literally had a whole moment. I thought this person who dismissed me was just going to show up at my house out of nowhere. And I was in peak la la land, absolute tee-hee ha-ha la la land. I had a whole mirror moment, the kind of mirror moment where you look into, you're just minding your own business. That's what I was doing. You just take a little glimpse. You go to use the bathroom, just having fun. And you just catch a glimpse out the side of your eye of your reflection, but it's not your reflection. It was literally the scariest thing I had ever seen. I wasn't even on drugs. And a result of that mirror moment, at the end of it, it felt like a 3-day process. of like actually battling my demons like inside of me, like these lies that I would tell myself that like I'm this evil person or I'm that evil person, or and honestly a lot of it is just OCD, like constantly holding myself to a certain standard and thinking that I am everything horrible in the world, which is not true, like, after I got out of that 3-day process, I don't even know if it was 3 days, but it was 3 days, there was one point where I thought that my imaginary boyfriend went to go sell his body overseas, and I drove all the way to GameStop, and I I grabbed everything in the Nintendo section and I brought it up to the front. I'm talking duplicates. I got everything. And then something in my mind, it was like human design or something. It was like, are you sure you want to get that? So I said, I want to get all this. I said, and so I started placing things back. But I did it nicely, I was like, I just completely demolished this Nintendo section in this GameStop in front of these, like, it was actually just one girl. In front of this poor girl. She just witnessed me destroy the section frantically. And I put everything back, but very nicely. I said, let me do it as if I worked here. So I put it back nicely, and I bought $600 worth of Nintendo products, because I thought my boyfriend was going to die, and I thought, why not create a shrine? I said, this is my fault, blah, blah, blah. And so I got home and I created this shrine around my bed. And I'm not kidding you, I swallowed a whole bottle of pills. But I still woke up the next day, which is fucking psychotic. I don't know why or how that happened. Yes, I am still well. Obviously, I am here. So it was a whole process. I realized that not all of that was true. Especially when he did not just show up at my household. So there was a point, I thought that this person that wanted to sell my body was going to show up at my house also from overseas. And I ran outside the house. I pushed my parents aside and I said, fuck you. I'm getting out of this fucking place. I ran outside and I got to the neighbor's house because I had ran outside earlier, maybe like a day before, thinking that people were coming to get me for nothing, and realized it wasn't true then. Well, I ran out again and I got to the neighbor's house, and then it hit me. I was like, oh my God, this is not real right now. And I walked back into the house and my parents were freaking out, and I just laughed it off. I was like, guys, obviously something is not okay. I'm going to get help as soon as possible. And they just were not listening to me. They were freaking the fuck out. And I was like, you're not even hearing what I'm saying right now. Obviously, I'm so coherent that I was able to walk back into the house and be like, yeah, something is going on. I wanted to play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for one more night, just one more night, until they sent me to the psycho facility. But they would not let me. They said, no, you're going tonight. I don't know why playing Mario Kart was such a threat to them. So I was like, fuck it, I guess I'm going. But somehow this got translated into my brain as, you're still going to sell your body. As I was in the facility, there was this Leah Kate lyric playing in my head over and over. And, she was one of the artists that I really listened to a lot, especially the Alive and Unwell EP, especially a lot of her unreleased music. I do not condone the illegal release and trade of unreleased music, but it's not my fault. It shows up on YouTube. So I was consuming a lot of that at the time. There was a lyric from one of her released songs on streaming, Life Sucks, and it was this line playing over and over in my head as I was at the facility. It was like, I don't want to do this. God is fucking ruthless. And, I still thought he was going to show up. I literally went to the front desk in the early morning and I said, yeah, my boyfriend's going to pick me up. He didn't even answer the phone, which, let's go. We had to celebrate because, and then I was like, let me call my friend's mom. She didn't answer. And then I was like, fuck. I have to call the only person that will literally pick me up and take me out of here, which is my fucking biological father. And so he came in, he picked me up, and I was like, you know what? I could not be happier to be alive. That Leah Kate lyric, I was like, oh, I literally don't have to do this if I don't want to. Like, I don't have to give up my life and sell it to someone who does not respect my body. Like, if there was one thing that I should have learned during the whole Teehee La La Land process was like, if I would kill myself because somebody else went over there and it was my fault, why the fuck would I fucking send myself over there? Yeah, and it even makes me angry today that people even feed this in a sense. The culture of it, the manipulation, the characteristics that come out in people that think it's okay to literally treat somebody like human fucking slop. It's disgusting. It makes me angry today. It's traumatizing. The man who tossed me around like a motherfucking salad in 2019 and the psychological effects that came from that. Fuck you, bitch. I don't understand. I literally could not wrap my head around what the fuck runs through people's brains to ever treat anybody like that. That's fucked up. So my logic was, it is how it is. You're born fucked up. You can't fucking do anything about it. But that's not true. I have shown countless times to myself over and over that it is 100% possible to fucking come back from whatever the fuck you fucking been through. Because I did not grow up in an easy household. I did not grow up with best friends as my parents. I grew up with people who saw me as a commodity, something that they could form to be this gray sludge and conform to whatever they want. I grew up in a church. I was literally dragged. I was a child. I was like 5 years old, getting called a fucking faggot in Sunday school. And I didn't even know what that word meant. And I'd be sobbing in the car. Like, please don't bring me to this place full of people who just want to bully me. I would literally be like playing kickball and kids would push me to the ground and kick me. Like, I was getting full on bullied. And my father would open the door and drag me out. Like, these people don't give a fucking flying fuck about me. When I had my mirror moment, I was literally crushing pills and trying not to jump out the window. My father came in, looked around, let the cat out, and left. So you could possibly imagine the type of conditioning that would come to play when believing these lies. And some people, they are so, and I don't even want to call it intelligent because it's just evil. They see this and they play into it. They're like, yeah, you're fucking nothing, bitch. You deserve to be treated like this. So you could see how I could believe it for like a moment, obviously. And the only person who fucking dragged me out of it was my goddamn self. You know, if it wasn't for Leah Kate, if it wasn't for motherfucking Human Design, because when I heard that lyric and I got out of that hospital or whatever, she said, I don't want to do this. And I said, oh my God, that's like all of like Human Design. It's like listening to your icks and your, ooh, I didn't want to do that. Every time I thought about it, it was like, ugh. You know? So as soon as I got out, as soon as I felt the sunshine on my skin, and that was the day that Nintendo released the Nintendo Music app, I was like, fucking hell. I don't have to do it. I don't want to do it. Why would I do it? Literally the only thing that fucking saved me is listening to that. Ooh. And, you know, I was so happy to get out. And because if I had left, I wouldn't have got to experience the Nintendo Music app. I wouldn't get to continue experiencing listening to music that I love, music that makes me feel alive, music that reminds me of past versions of myself, music that, you know, hasn't even come out yet, that could come out yet, you know, experiences, people that I haven't met yet, you know. So it was really, honestly, an eye-opening experience. You know, I call it a psycho-spiritual firmware upgrade because it was not psychosis. I mean, there were definitely some parts that were twisted, but there were also parts that were true. Like, no, you don't need to fucking go there. No, your best friend is literally your fucking self. Like, they are right here. I have always been a dreamer. I have always been a lover. I have been wanting nothing but like light and love for everything and everybody. But, you know, there are influences, people that try to kick you down and destroy you. And the only thing that I really had to come back to was myself. And that was the biggest gift of it all. You know, my mind said, your boyfriend's coming home. And it didn't lie, because I am my motherfucking boyfriend. And now today, it's about getting to live that life. It's about no more waiting. It's about no more waiting for the perfect moment. It's about fucking going for it, even if I don't have anybody behind my back supporting me. It means believing in it, even when there's nothing to fucking show for it. It means living despite the fuck of it all. And it's not pretty. I literally still deal with these haunting thoughts. They're still like ghosting themselves out of my head. These thoughts that are like, you deserve to die, you're worthless, they're horrible, they still linger, and you have to get rid of them. I mean, you don't have to force them out. You can't, because I can't just force them out. I'm doing my best, you know, but it's a little comical at this point, you know, like I'm just shopping and it's like, boom, that thought, and I'm like, sometimes I do laugh, just, you know, in the middle of the store, nobody's with me, I'm just by myself, and I hear that shit and I laugh. That's how powerful those thoughts are. So today we are about to listen to my September the 24th playlist of 2024. This is the playlist I thought there was going to be the last sliver of music that I would ever hear, because this person did not want me to live. He did not want me to breathe. He did not want me to see sunlight. He wanted me to die in a fucking coffin. So this was the playlist I listened to on the way to the hospital. I thought I was gonna get out and leave forever, so I was just gonna let it all out. My parents, you know, there has been a lot of disdain towards them. because of this childhood that they have put me through. Lack of true care and love that any growing brain and heart deserves in this world. I remember watching Modern Family, and I think her name is Sophia in real life, but she, in one of the first episodes, she got onto her husband for being a bully to her child, and she said, you were supposed to be the wind on his back, not the spit in his face. And that always spoke to me so clearly, because even as a child, I remember being a child sitting in my mom's lap and being like, I would never treat my child like this. You know, like this, you are the first people that they encounter in the world. Why the fuck are you their first fucking bully? Make it make sense. So this playlist, you know, I didn't make it with it being the last music I'd ever hear in mind. But when I got to hear it, it was so cathartic and it was so unapologetically me that I was like singing out loud. I was dancing and I didn't care about the fucking cuss words, you know, because these Bible thumpers, they love to keep it fucking sanitized as fuck. They don't like anything, period. So I was having a blast. You know, this was the last time I was ever going to be hearing music, allegedly. So it just means so deeply to me whenever I hear it. It is so, you know, I'll hear one of the songs on their own and I can like hear the next one playing because of how deeply ingrained that moment was in my life, how deeply cathartic it was. Because I have always had to shrink myself around them. You know, I remember like being in the car going somewhere. I'm fucking a miserable child because I have no choice but to put up with their bullshit. And so I just put my headphones in and I would lip sync, pretend I'm in a music video and look out the window. And my father would be like, Riley, quit fucking doing that. You look stupid. So this was for every fucking moment that they told me to shut the fuck up. This is for every fucking moment they told me what I can and cannot say. This is for every fucking moment that they told me I couldn't laugh, I couldn't cry, I couldn't be mad. This was for every fucking moment that I was told that I was being too much. I couldn't talk a certain way. I couldn't walk a certain way. I literally could not sit a certain way. And I couldn't even have my fucking hands up if I fucking wanted to. So this was every fucking moment that like little baby Riley had been bullied. So today we've got a fucking, because I'm a little angry, I won't lie. So we're having a little cathartic dance party moment. Because this shit, it's not pretty, you know? It doesn't happen overnight. So I've got my boxed wine, a little throwback to 2020 me, who loved her box wine. I don't actively drink anymore, but it's a little fun every once in a while, you know, type of vibe, because I don't even have that like actual craving, which, you know, that's good. I've got my motherfucking Hello Kitty cup and I have my fucking date. So this is a drug safe environment. And when I say psycho-spiritual firmware upgrade, I mean that in the sense of I'm literally not the same person as I was before. I don't move the same way. I don't let things beat me down the same way. Even when I kind of spiral, which we all have those moments, I am like Usagi from Sailor Moon. She's crying, she's sobbing, she's like, I don't want to do this, please don't make me do this. But she gets up and she saves the motherfucking world anyways. It'll be okay. So, we're going to listen to this playlist to start off our 2024 retrospect and kind of go back to that moment. This is the playlist that I thought would be the last time I would ever hear any of these songs again. I remember getting to a certain point in this playlist and being like, please don't drag me away from this, because my dad, he was speeding to get me to the hospital. I'm like, you're being so over dramatic right now. You know, in his point of view, I would have been back in his house. To me, obviously, I thought I was going to leave. But in his point of view, I was gonna be back at the house. Like, let's take a slow drive to this hospital, because I don't know when I'm gonna get out, and I want to enjoy this music. So I remember getting to a certain point in this playlist, and I was just like, no, don't take this away from me. I'm literally gonna disappear forever. And thank God I didn't, but I thought I was. So if that's like telling how much I thought I really was gonna leave, it was genuinely a wholehearted moment. So let's get into this. This is Dash by Sabi Sosa. What a way to start the motherfucking playlist. Pokemon, I a diamond. Wanted pink, wanted panther. Oh my God, need it, I don't need an answer. In Miami, cause I'm shopping at a Dash. And I'm posted on my Insta, cause your ex colors are sad. I'm coming viral when I slides. Wanna be like me, now she in for a surprise. Sports meal with a prefix lunch. In a her big dress, all that can get lunch. I love you cause we Dash. Run the tab, get my girls and now we Dash. Wear my gloves, dash, dash, dash. One thing about me is I was selling paint, some rhinestones, some diamonds, baby, I'm bad. Every time, let me dash, 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 dash. Want me dash, 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 dash. Yeah, my girls, need dash. So that started off our trip. A lot of these songs, I feel like they had never really heard this kind of music from me. I feel like they look at me and they picture Shake It Off by Taylor Swift. Don't get me wrong, I love a generic pop song. People say generic like it's a bad thing. Sometimes it's fun. I don't give a fuck if Happy by Pharrell Williams comes on. I'm fucking shaking my ass. You know, this kind of started off the trip, which was really fun. I thought it was such like an unserious vibe because they were like freaking the fuck out. But I knew in my head, even without the like, I'm going to sell my body vibe going on, I knew that like I was also like imagining things to an extent. So like I'm aware, and that just like goes to show how much like some people truly don't listen to you when you speak. You know, sometimes you can say things and it goes in one ear and out the other. So I really liked kind of the way that it opened up the start of our, a little over dramatic, if I'm being honest, like drive to the hospital. He was like speeding and I'm like, girl, I'm literally in the back seat, like chilling and dancing right now, and you're acting like fuck off. So it was honestly, it was a blast. But this next song comes from an artist that I love so deeply, part of the hyperpop, I hate that word, community. He released one of the most goated albums of last year. I have been praying, not really because I don't believe in that shit, but you know what I'm saying? I've been praying that he releases that kid, if you hear me, the TK Ultra CD. He talked about a record, like a vinyl, but fuck, I want a CD. I want the classic CD magic, you know? Maybe he'll release it one day, I don't know, but it was one of the best albums I had ever heard last year, and it's still one of the best albums I've heard in so long. This next song is called Butterfly Diamond Jeans, and it's unapologetically gay as fuck. One of the best songs. Every song in this album is a banger. wiggle just like jelly.
We get hot in her like Nelly.
How many tickets to teddy bear hugs? Can I kiss you in my pink glitter lip gloss?
If you let it down, much it comes.
Just got out for distribution. Boy, I got the solution. In my butterfly diamond jeans, come dance with me. We were smacked up off them drugs, playing Dance Dance Revolution. What do you mean? We were smacked up off them drugs, playing Dance Dance Revolution. Huh? How do you perfectly encapsulate such an era in a song? I said, God damn, I need to commission somebody in Project Diva to create a chart from this song. It's so arcade coded. That is one of the best albums of 2024, hands down. TK Ultra by that kid. Dance Dance Revolution, that was actually, I think that and Rhythm Heaven were my first rhythm games. I remember being, I don't know, maybe like 7, 8, or 9 years old. And like, I didn't have like the Dance Dance Revolution mat, but I had the iPod game, the Dance Dance Revolution Touch. And, you know, you just follow the symbols with, you know, that would pop up on the screen, and, you know, press the according symbol with your fingers. And I had a blast with that game. That was my favorite game ever as a child. I'd play it on my little iPod Touch. You know, I'd have it at full volume. I don't know where my headphones were at, because people were always like, Riley, turn that down. But it was a blast. So to kind of hear that lyric in the song, and of course the rest of the fucking song, the fucking production on it, the vibes were just unmatched. It felt like such a personal callback for me, in the way that it sounds like a song that you would literally find in Dance Dance Revolution is just so sick. He perfectly encapsulates that sound so deeply. He is such an amazing and talented artist, and you know, to hear that project was just something kind of life-changing for me. Honestly, all of the music from 2024 was so goated. That's why we're having that series. So this next song is by Rico Nasty. It's something a little bit unexpected from my point of view in the music that she makes. I was just not expecting it. It is such like a dance song. I remember being really hyped for iPhone. I'm such like a pop bitch, hands down. I was really surprised to hear this. You know, I listened to it. I didn't get it the first time. You know, like Nicki Minaj said, she says you're not gonna get it the first time. But I think I listened to it maybe 1 or 2 more times, and I was like, oh fuck, I think I'm moving. And it just got better and better every listen. So this song is called A Rin Tin Tin by Rico the Nasty. You know, Smack a Bitch, Rage, all goated songs. And then she releases this. I was shaking my ass in this car. I cause a scene. I make them clean. I'm feeling cheeky. Don't get me sweet. Ding 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 ding. Ding ding ding. could imagine the energy in the car. You know, a lot of the manifestation that came into play from 2024, I have been itching, and I mean itching as a child. I mean, I'm talking young, and just imagining running away from this goddamn hellhole. To think, you know, I mean, obviously I can look back now and be like, you know, Riley, you would have been running away to something, God, probably something fucking worse. I know this isn't like the best that you want to be in, but like, goddamn, I wouldn't have been any better. But you can imagine the energy when she said, I ain't coming home. I was like, fuck yeah. I'm literally never coming back to this goddamn forsaken place. I hate you bastards. I literally can't stand you. Like, you are insufferable down. So this next song kind of was the very fun vibe shift of the playlist. This kind of music was something that I really didn't get into until 2024. This is by Donatacci. They usually make bubbly, more hyper pop coded music, and for them to release a sound like this was very unexpected from me personally, but I fucking vibed with it so deeply and heavily that I ended up getting into a lot more music like this, kind of Little Texas vibes. I had a friend that her older sister used to actually listen to this music, this kind of music. And I remember it was like 2018. This was like when Ariana Grande's Sweetener had come out, for reference. And I remember being in her car and she would blast it so loud. She had speakers that could support it, and it was just fucking sick as fuck. I had never listened to that music before. I thought that it was really cool. I was like, you know, I had a little tiny friend crush on her. I still love my friend, obviously. I remember pulling up to like the McDonald's window because we were going to go see The Incredibles 2, actually. And when I pulled to the window, I'm such like a polite motherfucker. I'm like, not that's, you know, I don't even care about that shit. But like, I gotta turn the music down, just cause I can't fucking hear. No, she had this shit playing on full blast. She was like, yeah, I want a 20-piece chicken nuggets. And I'm like, damn, this girl rocks. I'm fucking vibing with her heavy right now. So, I just felt like it was really cool to like kind of have this like full circle moment and come back and be like, you know what? I don't think my brain understood it at the moment, even though I was like really, like my heart was blushing. I was like, damn, you're really cool. You know, I don't even know how to describe that. And for more context, this wasn't the first time Donatacci released this year specifically, because previously the music was more like bubbly and girly. The first song they released that kind of sounded like this was Fuck Up the Rave by Aisha, or obviously Donatacci, but featuring Aisha Erotica and Young. And that was the first time I heard something like this. We'll be able to hear it in my July playlist. So these were the follow-up songs after that. So I was already kind of like dipping my toes into this by then. I love this kind of sound. It sounds kind of like terrifying and like horror-esque, and I vibe with it heavy. You know, if you've watched my story time, Dance Time Resident Evil video, I kind of spoke a little bit on this when we listened to Alter Ego by Doechii and JT. Is this kind of like, you know, people are going to perceive you as whoever they want to perceive you as. You know, like when Nicki Minaj, I'm not like a Barb down, but you know, I won't lie. I was in that gym in 6th grade rapping all of Super Bass, so I have a little bit of history with her. When she brings up Roman, I feel like it makes a lot more sense now, like playing into that role of like, if you want me to be evil in your head, If you want to make up whatever fucking lie you want to, then be my guest. Be my motherfucking guest. Because I don't fucking care. At the end of the day, I just want to like sniff some flowers, pick some berries, and hold somebody's fucking hand. Like, whatever, you know? Like, fuck you. So this is Fuck Me Up by Donatachi. The terror vibes in this car were real. I was sweating. Oh my god, I'm at the... Oh my god, when we were listening to this song in the car, I was dancing so hard. Obviously, I thought it was going to be the end of my life. I thought this was the last time that I would ever hear music in my life, because that's what that motherfucking man wanted to do to me. So obviously I was giving it all that I could. I was sweating everywhere. Literally, my mom was in the front seat and I could feel my hair, like, I could feel the sweat fly off of me. And I know it went in her direction. So it was really crazy. I'm glad that I could, like, perfectly encapsulate that, like, terrifying vibe for them, because it didn't even stop there. So this is also by Donatachi. It's called Don't Wait. A good indicator for life. When is truly the perfect time to start doing anything? Aren't we whole as we are? Damn, like they just ha ha. Damn, the production on that song, like, why did they do that? Oh my god, That just went so hard. It still goes so hard today. It went so hard then. It'll probably go so hard 10 years from now. It goes so hard 10 years prior. I really love the entire atmosphere of that song, the atmosphere of all the music that sounds like that, the whole vibe of like my dad speeding in this car to get me to the hospital, even though I said, yeah, I want to go to this hospital, you know, just give me one night with Mario Kart. You know, I obviously do not want to be running out of the house into the neighbor's yard thinking that some random man is going to be come picking me up. So I really loved the like imaginary urgency. It seemed to really only affect him when it was publicly embarrassing, or else, you know, him walking into the room to me crushing up pills would have also been just as important, but obviously not. So it's always just a fucking show. But it was really fun because he was speeding, which he usually isn't doing. So I felt the wind going in my hair, and I was just vibing, and the sweat was going everywhere because I thought I was going to die. So this next song follows up in the same vein sonically as the previous music we were listening to. It's called Hole in the Speaker by Little Texas. Very terrifying. This goes out to every single bad bitch, and I mean every single bad bitch who's ever had to sit and endure and shrink for every motherfucking bastard who has fucking tried to silence them, who has tried to kick them down and tell them, you can't do this, you're not capable, and you're not good enough, because that's just not fucking true. You can literally, I believe in you. I believe in you so deeply. We can all get up, stand up, and take another day. We can, goddamn, I know it fucking sucks. That's why I'm fucking here making this fucking video right now, because some days it really is hard. It really is messy. It's not perfect. It's not just getting up and everything's perfect and beautiful one day. Some days are borderline euphoric, but some days are really fucking hard. It's not something that you can just quickly wipe away. I wish there have been times in the past where I wish that I could have just shoved a fork into my skull, but that wouldn't have fixed anything. And sometimes the best course of action is just waiting until the next day, because tomorrow legitimately is another day. So keep fucking fighting and doing it in however you fucking can. Even if it looks scary, even if it looks mean, even if it looks cocky, there's nothing that is wrong about sucking your own motherfucking dick. The only dick I should be sucking is my fucking own. So yeah, don't ever let these bastards get you down. This next song is by an artist that somebody in rehab actually showed me. Not showed me personally, but he was playing on the TV because obviously we didn't have our phones. And so our only, means of media was through this TV in the house. So, there were, I was in a house full of dudes and they would, take the TV for maybe like an hour at the time and play music. I never really took the TV. If I took the TV, I was playing Throatzilla by Slater. Obviously, that probably wasn't the vibe. But he played something by Little Darky. It was AMV. And I was going to my, notepad, physically, and writing down any lyric I could. The artist and the lyric, so I could find this song when I had my phone back. And he played multiple songs by Little Darky, but the one that stood out to me the most was AMV. And I kind of, I'm always on the hunt for new music to listen to. I really liked that song. I really liked the kind of screaming vibe that was going on. And I found this song by him that really felt aligned into what I was currently experiencing. I have always played Mario Kart. I am a Nintendo bootlicker down, if you guys have not noticed. And there was a point I got Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS, an underrated game in my opinion. And I remember feeling very confident about my skills and getting online and getting my ass handed to me. And I put it down. I let other people, and not just other people, because that's just conditioning and preconceived imagining kind of get to me. And, those thoughts, those things that you're told when you're a child, that you're not good enough, you can't do this, you should settle and put your dreams down because it's unachievable, allegedly. And I put it down. I put down one of the games that I love the most, a game that I gravitated towards so deeply. And I did get Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. And I loved it. And I did put it down after a while, I felt like I hit that same roadblock. And then I had a friend who I have spoken about previously on our story time / dance time, the Resident Evil one, the one that's God, I don't even know, it's an hour long. The one before this, I spoke about a friend who held me for what it felt like in the best way possible for 10,000 years. I wanted to play games with her. I felt like I didn't have much to offer, so I said, why don't we sit down and play the Nintendo Switch? So we opened up Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Obviously, I had not really played 8 Deluxe a lot because at the time, this was the beginning of 2022, there wasn't a lot to offer. I remember they brought Deluxe onto the Switch, and they just brought over, a couple of characters and, an extra item slot, which is pretty goated. But other than that, I was really hoping for more. But, we got to sit down and play together, and I was like, fuck, I forgot how fun this is. And, that year, I think it was in the April Nintendo Direct, they announced the Booster Course Pass. I literally lost my voice screaming because it was something that I had always asked for years and years and years. Even back during the Wii U era, I was like, come on. No. Back it up. I wanted DLC back on the 3DS. So this was a long time dream that was finally being fulfilled. And that I was screaming. I lost my voice. They said 40, how much? 48 tracks? 47? I was like, fuck. I just put this dream down. now I'm getting back the fuck up. So I really, that love like got reignited in me, and I had, a deeper, that love for Mario Kart has always stayed with me. I kind of pivoted away from the worldwide online play and moved towards 200cc. And back when I played it on the Wii U, I was like, this is unplayable, blah 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 nonsense. Really, and I'm not even sure if it was this time or even a little bit before where I learned how to brake drift properly, but it became like, I hate to say it, it became like crack to me. I just could not get past the speed. It was so fun. Something about the just classic fucking going as fast as possible racing was just so addictive to me. Even sometime after we decided to peacefully part ways, I continued to go into these 200cc tournament rooms. I loved it. I loved it so deeply. I remember being so hyped about it. I would always, these faces, when it's a tournament room and it's the same tournament room, you have a lot of reoccurring faces. And I would always be like, hello, good game, let's go, good luck. And a lot of the times I felt like it was not reciprocated, which is fine, whatever. But I felt very alone. I felt so like it was just me, hyping people up. And that's fine. I don't care to. But it kind of like hurt my feelings in the slightest of ways, if that makes sense, especially when it comes to something so deeply to you. But right as I was about to give up, I remember there was a player in one of those rooms. And don't get me wrong, there were some people that definitely respond to the hype. It just wasn't as often as I wish it had been. I think I was definitely in a very lonely period of my time where I really wanted to reach out and find other people that had the same interests as me, kind of shared that same heart. So I remember right as I was about to give up, I was literally looking at the sky. I was so sad. I felt so alone and brokenhearted. I remember there was this girl that would come and play in these rooms. And her name, she was from the UK. Her name, in all caps, was Shit. And I remember laughing. I remember being like, what the fuck? Like, I hope this isn't directed towards anybody in these rooms. Cause come on. I love you. You're a fucking Mario Kart player. Like, don't let anybody ever get you down. Well, I was in a room, and I'm telling you, I was this close to giving up. And she started responding. She was hyping me up. She was like, good game, let's go, good luck. And I was a little shocked. I was scared. I don't know if it was genuine, but a lot of me wants to believe it was actually genuine. And I kind of do believe it was genuine for more that I'm about to speak about. It was so wholehearted. It had never felt so like it came from the sky. Like I had asked the sky, I said, please, I just want a friend. And she just came into that room and she was just vibing and we had a good time. Like, I just remember always looking out for each other. I would purposely, she's my teammate, so I didn't want to like fucking hit her. I can remember being like far into like 12th or 11th place and pulling like a blue shell, and I could see she was at the front, But she was like battling out with someone else for first place. And I waited. I said, let me wait. She's in first place right now. I don't want to send this like blue shell towards her. I'm literally gonna hold it because I love this motherfucker. She went down to second place. And I said, boom! And I sent that blue shell straight towards first place. It was crazy. And she literally won the race. It was goated as fuck. And we had such an energy that was contagious. People in the room started joining in and like hyping us up together, and we all hyped each other, and it was so beautiful. I can remember looking at the sun like through the leaves of trees, like driving home from work, being brokenhearted over this person who doesn't care if I live or die, and thinking like, oh my god, that's exactly what you look at. Like, that is you. That is how I see you. And I love you. I can remember her calling me Pookie, and I call her Pookie, and then I'd be like, I'm going to the bathroom, like a BRB. And it was crazy. Like, I remember, because she's in a different time zone, I would like be up at a certain time, and I was like using my telekinesis. I don't know if that's the right word. Let me link. I'm gonna link a video of Azalea Banks in a second, but I just like, any time that I was waiting for her, it would be like a Sunday, because it always would end at like 6 p.m. Eastern time in America. And I'd be like, get online.
My sister, I've been waiting to talk to you, my sister. Call me when you get back into the country. I have some news to share with you, my sister.
And she'd finally show up, and it was amazing. It was a friendship that I will never forget. I don't know what happened. Actually. She just kind of stopped appearing in the rooms one day. I'm not sure. It might have been something that happened in her own life, but I will never forget the kind of love and joy that we shared together. It will always speak so deeply to me in my heart. It was something that kind of shifted things, and I didn't want to give up because my heart was so broken. I said, why did you just disappear? I don't understand what's going on. But obviously, I still like love her and appreciate everything for what it was today. I don't know what happened. It probably was something personal. I'm so thankful for her. And I remember I said, I can't give up. I don't want to give up. That's I can't go back. I love this game too deeply to just give up once again. I can't go back to the 3DS era and just put the controller down. So I opened up those time trials, and I got on Sherbert Land. Sherbert Land was my favorite fucking course to play on 200cc. You know, I watched that time trial. Instead of going to the first position, I went to the 10th position to start off kindly to myself. Unlike in the past, when I'd go to the time trials, I would just go to the first world ranking, and that was a little imitating, was it imitating? Is that the right word? Imitating. That was a little imitating. And that was a little intimidating. So I started off kindly for myself at the 10th world ranking. It seemed a little hard, but I did it anyways. It didn't seem as tech complicated as the 150cc world records, which that may just be my like squirrel brain in play, but I was able to work with it, and I got up anyways, and I said, I'm gonna fucking do this. I'm gonna try. The least I can do is try. I can't not try. I can't not try for something I love so deeply and hold so deeply into my heart, especially with human design. We're told to literally reach for the motherfucking stars. So there's no point in not trying. And I remember, I didn't get it the first time. Like Nicki Minaj says, you're not gonna get it the first time. And she was right. I didn't get it the first time. It took me maybe like 5 or 6 tries, but I got it. I remember being so proud of myself, just seeing my time increase like 6 seconds, you know? I was like, damn, the skill lived inside of me this whole entire time. I'm a better Mario Kart player than I was giving myself credit for. It reignited something in me. And it always made me like wish, you know, because we never had a real means of communication, obviously, because of Nintendo. It always made me wish that I could just like reach out and be like, hey, don't fucking give up. And I mean that to anybody. Like, please don't ever give up. You are so much more skilled than you can even, like, imagine, than you can even comprehend. I couldn't even comprehend it. I saw myself do that, and I said, what the fuck? It was crazy. So I think it's really beautiful that I never really, like, put that controller down this time, and I really, like, continued playing Mario Kart, because I love Mario Kart, and that's something that I don't ever want to give up. That's why I bought this motherfucking Mario Kart shirt. I remember going into the store and walking around, and I saw this in the corner, and I looked around, and I'm a Cat Peach player down. I love Cat Peach. I will ride for Cat Peach forever. I mean, I don't care to switch up the characters. If there's one thing that Cat Peach would want me to do, she would want me to see the animations of all these other characters. Oh my god, it just dawned on me that Cat Peach is not in Mario Kart World. If there is one thing that Cat Peach would want me to do, it would be to maximize my time and see the animations of the other characters. So, I still race with her today. I still hold that love for her today. I went into the store and I saw these like Mario Kart shirts. There was like a Mario, there was a Bowser, there was a Yoshi, there was a Peach. I started dancing. I don't think I've ever gotten this excited for something. And that's what, you know, human design teaches you to do, is to follow that excitement. I was like, holy fuck. And I was just reaching this era of like, damn, I'm a little bit more skilled than I was allowing myself to believe. So this next song is by Little Darky, and I found it around this time, and I thought it was so beautifully aligned. I love the vibe. You know, obviously we're in the car, like, listening to these songs. Kind of got this, like, terrifying vibe going on already. So I love to hear him scream on a track. This song is called Plumbers.
Sorry, girl. She don't know what I do. Didn't know the point. Believe the high school and fuck you. Look at me now. I don't have no one to just you sharper than short and shout. I don't know what to believe. To the way of the building. This morning, too much shit. I got Challenge accepted, Keith. Underwater spider that is an octopus.
Give it to us!
Bryce Dillinger.
all for nothing. Darky smoked marijuana as he got inevitably closer to death.
Damn, you can just imagine the vibes of finding that song and like realizing this about yourself. We all have it in us. If you got that Mario Kart heart, then like anything is possible. Don't ever disqualify yourself just because it looks a little bit hard. You are probably, and by probably, you absolutely are so deeply skilled. More than you even let yourself believe. Even if it takes a couple of tries, you are 100% capable of it. You are so much more skilled. So keep trying. Don't put down that motherfucking video game controller. Just keep trying. It'll be okay. Believe in yourself. I believe in you. So this next song is by Christ Dillinger, DJ Smokey, and Aisha Erotica. This was such an unexpected song from me personally by Aisha Erotica, but I love the song as a whole. I think it is Christ Dillinger that's doing the rapping. Maybe it's DJ Smokey. I'm not sure. But I have been diving into their other music because of this song alone. This was my most listened song of last year. I loved it so much. I love the vibes. I love the production. I love it sonically. I don't think that I've ever had a song played this much. It really just kind of fits this like I'm a fucking badass bitch, like you bow down to me, I suck my own dick energy, you know? Okay, actually before we start this song, because I love the transition into the next song after that so deeply, it is a remix of Jade's song Angel of My Dreams. So for this song, for me, it felt like a reclamation of the Haktua, because we had the Haktua girl and whatever, that's cool I guess. But I love the loogie spits she does in this song. So let's fucking get this on. This is called She's Got a Sugar Daddy by DJ Smokey, Christ Dillinger, and Aisha Erotica.
We make the best poison. DJ Smokey. Drugs, guns, violence, and terrorism. We supply it for a good price.
That white or right wrist look like Sub-Zero. Bitch on my breath way longer than 3 heroes. You plus sketchy as hell, been through like 3 Rico. Fuck it with that coquito like I'm from Puerto Rico. For sure daddy says some money, you tryna get some pussy. I'ma still hit the pussy whether it's bald or bushy. 3 days in the trap, I done made 15,000. Shorty ass got us fucking the titties bouncing. Shorty ass got us fucking the titties bouncing. I put a car sugar daddy said 5,000.
Tall sugar daddy said 50,000.
I put a car sugar daddy said 50,000.
Ain't cups, so they ain't really bounce. But the booty does, I think that's where it really counts. Bitch, you shaking ass on a Tuesday. Shit, it's a Wednesday. Fuck, we ain't shaking ass. He be snorting fentanyl on my naked ass. Stumbling up the frat party, I don't even take a class. I don't even know how they let you ugly bitches in. Fuck kind of strip club is that? Hoes with her. Let's pull up with an autistic dog and a derby bitch. Put this shit up in her purse. I might give me a purple zoom. Get a job, bitch, I got one. The cop low boobs and fuck boy, come cop one. Just like a Labrador, I made him grow a mustache and now he a matador.
My life is in shambles.
I just shove a nuke on my pussy.
Evil, poison, money gang.
You say that you care. the original version of this song, it was, they banger, but when I heard this remix, I was a little shocked. I was not expecting this from the remix. I heard a couple of remixes of it before. None of them really resonated with me in the way that this one did, especially in the like Donatachi and like Little Texas point of view. It really sounded cathartic. So sometimes I really prefer this version over the original, just because that's just my own personal music preference. Especially when I listen to She Got a Sugar Daddy, I cannot listen to the end without hearing the beginning of the Angel of Your Dreams remix. I love the part when she says, "You only care about money." I told my parents, they have always hyped me up. They're like, "You can do this. You can do this." But once I live up to the potential, they stay in dead silence. I can come up to them and be like, "I got up in front of the camera today, even though it was really fucking hard. Even though I want to shove a fucking fork through my head, because sometimes I feel like it's just me doing it by myself." And they respond with dead silence, and they sat me down with their nonsense bullshit. I like the pretend I care behavior. And we're like, "How do we know you're not doing OnlyFans?" What the fuck are you fucking talking about? No offense, obviously, because we don't slut shame in this household, but like, I almost sold my goddamn body. You're a whore. You are a fucking whore. I still don't slut shame, but you're a whore. If I was doing OnlyFans, I would not tell you. I would not even try to come and lie to you about what I'm doing. Like, this is something that I have always dreamed about doing. I used to lay in my bed as a child in elementary school and watch Kobaner Mani, one of the greatest YouTubers out there, do his Sonic the Hedgehog Let's Plays. And I used to think to myself, I used to dream laying in my bed feeling fucking hopeless, like nobody's listening to me. I used to be like, fuck, I want to do that when I get older. And now I'm recording motherfucking Sonic Adventure 2 on camera. Why wouldn't I come and celebrate that? I told them that, when they sat me down, they were like, "Why aren't you talking to us?" And I'm not talking to them because like I have it out against them or something. I just don't fucking care. I literally want nothing to do with you. If you were to get hit by a car, I would not care. I literally don't give a fuck what happens to you. That's how disconnected I am from your nonsense. The only reason I'm talking about this, one, to share my story, two, to bring comfort that those who have may possibly lived in something similar, because I know that I'm not alone. I know that this kind of evil, rampant mindset is not limited to my experience. So, and my experience is also valid. My hurt, my fight, my resilience is not just limited to me. I want to encourage anybody that is out there to fucking fight. I want you to know that you can, and let you know that you're not alone. So when I speak of this comes from a place of like cathartic release, shared experience, and deep love for anybody else that has had to sit through this pain. But when I sat there and I explained to them how it is deeply disrespectful for them to hype me up for years and years and years of over potential, versus me living out the potential and then them staying silent. Because when I come and I'm like, you guys, I got up and recorded in front of the camera today, I'm really proud of myself, and they stay silent, that's fucking ugly. That's ugly as fuck. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you, you know? Like, what the fuck? Who the fuck are you? Like I said, wind on your back, not the spit in your fucking face. So I really like the part where she is talking about, you know, all about that money. Because when I was talking to my parents about how they stay silent, they were like, okay, but how many views are you getting? Bitch, I don't get on the camera for fucking views. If they come, if the numbers come, they come. Like, whatever. It is a gift that I even get to sit in front of this camera and talk in general. I am having a blast. I don't care if it's one person. I don't care if it's 500 people. I just want to share my story. It is so cathartic to be able to live out a dream that I have always dreamt of. There has always been a piece of me that has followed every single year, no matter what kind of vision it is. No matter I want to play Sonic, no matter I want to vlog, no matter I want to talk to people, I want to share my story. It is living out a fully realized dream. So it was really cathartic to be in that car and listen to She Got a Sugar Daddy and hear Aisha Erotica go, huh, and me actually get to do that in the car. I didn't actually spit, but I made sure that sound was loud. I wanted to let them know that I was spitting all over them because they're fucking disgusting and disrespectful. Do you know how many times they told me you can't always get what you want? They told me you cannot. And for me to have these like realizations, for me to fight and to claw myself, to fight every single lie they told me and to do it anyways and to see the proof come out, I deserved to get to spit in their fucking faces. Because that's disgusting. That's not how you treat another human being, let alone your own child. So yeah, if there's anybody out there, please fucking hug a loogie and spit in their fucking faces, because you can, bitch, and you can get what the fuck you want. So this part of the playlist, that was the last song that we heard in that car on the drive. And then this song by the one and only Charlie XCX. That was, we didn't even get to listen to it in full. Started to play, but then my dad was like, get out of the car already. And I'm like, fuck you. This is the last time I'm gonna hear music ever again, you fucking bastard. So this will just be for us together. We'll get to have this experience. And obviously I got to come back and listen to it and live a life today. I heard this and I watched the music video. I love Charlie XCX. I've been a fan since 2014. But I can't lie. Billie Eilish's part in this song is my favorite.
You wanna guess the color of my underwear? You wanna know what I got going on down there? Is it pretty in pink or all see-through? Is it showing off my brand new back tattoo? You wanna put them in your mouth, pull them all down south. You wanna turn this shit out, that's what I'm talking about. Buy it, lick it, put it to the side and get all that in. Wearing clothes that might be mixed and send it to the day, I think he's with it. Buy it, delicious.
Come on!
Don't have to guess the color of your underwear with the little bows. The ones I picked out for you to be you. Now they're all thinking about. I wanna try it, bite it, lick it, spin it, pull to the side and get all up in it, kiss it right again. I fit it, Charlie likes boys, but she knows I hit it.
have to imagine how cathartic that is to listen to as an angel since 2014 and be like, she's the future. She's the future. She's the future. Finally, the fucking world finally fucking listens. Because she is the motherfucking future. It was so goated. It was so unmatched. What an unmatched experience to be able to hear Billie Eilish come on this song. I loved Billie Eilish's part. I love the Google Drive mention because I am definitely one of those motherfucking angels that's like, goddamn, I gotta get my hands on any single Charlie XCX song I can get my big, fat, greasy claws on. And the music video, you know, I love Billie Eilish. I think that hearing her on that song with that type of production really fits her voice. I remember people complaining, and I said, I don't think we're hearing the same song because this is fucking sick. I love it all. Billie Eilish has such a attractive aura. Whenever I hear her part in that song, I'm like, god damn, I just feel so fucking sexy right now. You know, it's that like Sagittarius energy. I am also a Sagittarius, and you know, I just feel it. I feel it so deeply. So this next song is by an artist that I have been listening to since the very first day that she ever dropped her first song. I remember I would scroll on this website that shows like new releases, and I saw the cover art. This girl had a little bun, and it was like a neon picture of herself. It was pink, like full-blown pink, and I just thought, holy fuck. And the title was I Don't Want It At All. And it ended up becoming like my most listened to song for the next 2 years in a row. This is by an artist who has received so much hate, which I could understand from the point of view of somebody who is uninformed on the subject. This artist has been locked in a contract with a man who has known for abusing Kesha, which I also am a deep fan of. I love her so much. I've been a Kesha fan. I've been an Animal since day one, but I felt so deeply for this artist, and she spoke on how she felt like it was her only option as a new and upcoming artist. She signed with him in 2014 before the court case really became big and publicly known. So if you look deep into it, she really did not have that luxury that most artists, at least diverse artists, have today. And, you know, if you are chronically online enough, and I'm not talking about just scrolling down your feed and just seeing something and being like, fuck that person, you would know that these people, we love to believe that women's stories matter, but they don't matter when it comes to a man manipulating the story itself. We'd love to blame women for men, which doesn't make sense. Even Kesha's friend has literally said that we shouldn't bully artists. That Kesha's friend literally said we should not bully artists under his control. We are not aware of the power and the manipulation these men have. And she has recently started posting pictures of her eating an apple every single day. And you know what they say about when you eat an apple a day. So I have to say that I just wouldn't be surprised if a certain K. Perry started to free these artists from a certain manipulative man. I'm sick of blaming these women for a man's actions. I saw a post back in October or September of 2024. I'll show it right here, right now. And I just couldn't help but laugh when I read it at first, because I was totally on the Katy Perry hate train. And I laughed. I said, how could you be so deeply delusional? But something started to click with me, because I remember back in 2014, I think it was 2014 or 2015, before the court case became like genuine public knowledge. I'm talking about, if you weren't on chronically online, then you didn't know about this. I remember thinking to myself, if anybody was to ever get anybody out of a contract with him, if anybody was to ever destroy his career permanently, it would be Katy Perry. And look at that. Kim Petras is posting a motherfucking apple a day. Your beats are so-so. You fucking bozo. This is Don't Lie by the Chainsmokers and Kim Petras. I really love this song. I love the, I feel like she has a call out lyric. She says, I know you see me when you close your eyes. And she posted a picture during the filming of the music video where her arm is reaching out of the fucking mud. And I just couldn't help but feel like this was a callback to the turn off the lights era. She has definitely expressed frustration with how much control has gone into the handling of her music. She has literally been held back from releasing things because of men around her. If you are chronically online enough, you would see that so much production, her third debut album, Feed the Beast, was without this man's name on it. If you look at any fucking interview, if you look at what Kelly Clarkson has said, you know that this man doesn't even produce these songs. Benny Blanco fucking came up with Teenage Dream all by himself. This man just puts his name on it. I've literally made a whole playlist of Feed the Beast outtakes that have this man nowhere to be seen. And it's a goated album. They took outtakes, songs that were meant for different albums, threw it to the wall, and hoped it sticked. It was a bullshit moment. I believe in that album that it had so much more potential. I believe in Kim Petras as an artist. If you listen to her older music, if you listen to her unreleased music before she was working with that man, because he does just slap his name on the credits of those songs, you would see that the songwriting style was there and the production was still there. Like, fuck you. You guys don't know what the fuck you're fucking talking about. If you want to get online and start all this nonsense, I just wish you could do the research, because you don't know what you're motherfucking talking about. You bitches make me so angry. This woman deserves so much better than the hate that she gets. This is Don't Lie by the Chainsmokers and Kim Petras.
You and me alone.
honestly, that was such a cathartic moment to like hear her release, because she can release good songs without him. So can Katy Perry. They are both capable. They both release good songs without him all the time. Kim Petras has 100 million billion songs in that vault that are not produced by that man, that sound exactly the same as the songs that were produced by him. Like, I need these people don't even do their research. They don't know what they're talking about, and they love to call themselves like knowledgeable pop human beings, but that's not even the case. You are literally just spouting whatever gets you likes and retweets, and it's not even the case. You are literally dragging women down. We love to spout women's stories matter, but once a women's story comes out, it's crickets. We don't hear anything. So that one goes out to Kim Petras and Katy Perry. Katy Perry for being the motherfucking phoenix and getting them the fuck out of the contract. Because that album, I could do a whole video on it. And I might just. And we'll probably do a video on Kim Petras' Feed the Beast also. Because that album, 143, was literally, I'm sorry, it was compiled of songs that were in the vault. She literally, everyone said, this sounds outdated. Well, no fucking duh. You listen to that album and it sounds like these songs came from Prism, and they probably did. You look at the credits and they have the same writers from the people that had written on Prism. The sounds, they're the same. They have bonus tracks from Smile. Like, it's literally, you people cannot put 2 and 2 together, I swear. So that was just really great for them to kind of like put that song together without his credits all over it and release it. It was a generic song, but like I said before, generic does not mean bad. You know, it is hard. It is not easy to write a pop song. If you have ever tried to produce music, it is really fucking hard. You know, that's why most people start out with ambience or like slow, acoustic, sad songs, because it is hard to come up with a catchy song. You don't hear many songs on the radio that you get stuck in your head. I feel like for me personally, that is an indicator of a good pop song, is a song that gets stuck in your head. I go out and I hear Happy by Pharrell Williams, and all of a sudden I'm happy. Like, it's stuck in my head. There's no wonder that it went number 1, you know? All right, so now the vibe kind of gets slower. We're about to get into Was I Ever Alone by Twist. And I thought this was an awesome time. You know, obviously I thought that my imaginary boyfriend was coming and it was just me at the end. But so I think it is also beautiful that to be reminded that I wasn't alone. And in a sense, in like hindsight, I was never alone, especially in the sense of like online community and like the people that are out there. Like UK Pookie, I was never alone. Even right as I was about to give up, something ignited from that moment on forward, you know, getting to have that together, and then getting to have, you know, the time trial spark from that. And then also from that dude who dismissed me when I spilt my heart out wholeheartedly. I did not lie. There was not a single lie told. I would literally never say that to anybody. I never just say I love you to anybody, because I don't fucking say that. I just don't say that shit unless I mean it. I will always stand by that. I remember like wanting to swallow a bottle of pills along with a whole bottle of tequila, and the only thing that held me back was a picture of Hatsune Miku, which I will show in a second, that I saw on Twitter, and I could just imagine her voice saying, "It'll be okay, Riley. Just don't do that." And it high-key saved my life. Was also kind of psychotic, because if you've seen the Hatsune Miku movie, you would know that that picture is essentially the whole entire movie, but a cinematic experience. Like, I went into that movie thinking it would just be like a ha ha hee hee movie. No, that shit was personal. So this song is called Was I Ever Alone? That song was so beautiful. You know, another thing was like, you know, these Project Diva songs, a lot of these songs, you know, I like grew up kind of like my heart was so deeply attached to them. These came from other creators who used Miku's voice in a computer program to kind of speak to other people in the world, whether you're a Project Diva player, whether you are a Colorful Stage, Project Sekai, I don't know if that's how you say it, player, whether you just enjoy Vocaloid. I think it's beautiful that anybody can literally download the Vocaloid program and kind of share, you know, this message and these feelings for other people to kind of, you know, resonate with, and kind of bring in together this like shared experience that we truly are not alone. And it just, there had never been like such like a heartfelt moment where I realized that, you know, even if I am like in my immediate space, if it, you know, feels like I am alone, I am truly not alone. So this next song is called The Sky is Blue by Annie. It feels very like the atmosphere feels very questionable. I remember listening to it and not understanding like the sadness because the sky is blue and I don't know why I'm sad, but it kind of makes sense in hindsight. But then in the next song, we will realize that we were not alone after all. Exactly. sometimes we are just sad for no reason, even if it doesn't make sense. And sometimes it's so beautiful when it's like burning up outside. I love the summer heat, but there's something about listening to a sad song when it's so hot out and you feel like summer culture is so revolved around like action and activity, and for some reason you're just fucking sad. But this next song proves that we kind of weren't alone. The real ones, no. This is by FKA Twigs. Something shifted after this song came out. That was like such a euphoric moment to kind of experience. You know, I was literally just by myself. And to, you know, kind of have this like this comfort of like, this felt like a whole transition era for me, kind of having this comfort in like the connectedness between everybody in this world, in our shared experiences, in the love, in the fight that we share together. You know, it's not easy, it's not pretty, sometimes it's fucking ugly. And even if we seem alone, we're not always alone. So this next song is the transition. This is where it gets really fucking tough, but then it's gonna be beautiful afterwards. And then we're done with this playlist. And that'll be September 24th, 2024. This next song comes from an album that I listened to this artist prior in 2020, and I really liked the songs that they were releasing, especially a Caro Bonito remix on one of their songs, Story. And God, the whole album, I felt like they made it with human design in their heart. Like, it sounds like a whole entire psychedelic trip about, I don't know, life and kind of the beauty of the fuck of it all. Like, never knowing what's coming next and the unexpected. Like, the love of it all, if that makes sense. But we're just gonna get into it. This sounds like such an interlude moment. This is Tunnel Vision by Magdalena Bay. It starts off really light, but then we get into it.
I turn my headlights on. I turn my headlights on, and suddenly I can see.
It just trip.
Closing in over me, I forget if life is my witness. I can stand on my feet, I fell back then I see the sun moving, shine. Stand on my feet, I fell back then I see.
Chaotic nature of that song. We have to read. Let me put my glasses on. We have to read one of the lines from one of the songs. They have an interlude and it resonated with me so deeply because at this time, you know, I was really coming closer to myself, if that makes sense. So one of the songs that stood out the most to me, it was just an interlude. It was like a spoken word interlude. It resonated with me so deep because I feel like through the course of my life, I had felt instances where I would smell smells that would remind me of times in my life when I was younger, when things were easier, it seemed. Before anybody really got access to me in a way that they shouldn't have, you know, I would smell smells, especially this last September and October. I'd be walking outside and I'm like, goddamn, this smells like Sonic Rush on the DS. Or fuck, this smells like Sonic 2006 on the PlayStation 3. So I felt like it was a really sick callback. This album felt very personal in a sense. So let's read this. This is the True Blue interlude. Say hello. It's you. The purest you. The next stage, the next phase is here. Instinctive, impatient, impossible. In memory, mirror, and the membrane. It's here. Hello. It's you. Something's inserted or taken or examined. Something lies dormant inside you and it's been there all along. Or you've swallowed it or you've spit it out. 10 years or 10 minutes ago, reflected in my eyes or floating behind yours, and your mother's mother or your child's child, a dream or awake, say hello, it's you, the purest you, implanted, impatient, impossible, in memory, in mirror, in membrane, divine digits, the nightmare lifts, it's here, imaginal disc, say hello, it is you. I just feel like we have to take that piece by piece. Something's inserted or taken or examined. Something lies dormant inside you and it's been there all along. Or you've swallowed it or spit it out. I feel like for me personally, that feels like every time somebody has tried to shrink me and be like, no, you're cringe, this is wrong, you're weird. They try to shove it back in you, but that's no. it finally comes back up. It's like I'm regressing, but in the best way possible. And it's always like dormant in you all along. I feel like when I was in that moment, I could feel earlier versions of myself and then versions of myself 20 years from now. So like a mother's mother or a child's child, I could see every version of everything. And of course, the divine digits, the nightmare lifts. I feel like in 2019, I really honed in on that 222, 333 nonsense, letting the numbers control my life. And I felt like the mirror moment for me personally was like, you don't need to like fucking fuck with this shit anymore, because you already know your destiny. You know what makes you excited. So don't fucking fuck with it, you know? So this album was like really eye-opening. It felt comforting. It felt like a hug. It felt like a hug for everything, every version, every version of me to ever be, to come and be like, it's okay. This is it. You're like, there's nothing to worry about now. You have nothing to fucking be afraid of. You are on the right path. There is like nothing. Like, please don't let anybody like insert something in you and tell you, no, this is wrong. You cannot do it. You are not capable, because that's not true, because something has been inserted into you. And all you have to do is spit it out. It's lied there dormant in you all along. So we kind of got to have that like chaotic moment, that like beautiful kind of beginning, and then like chaotic kind of build up and end. And then we have, you know, this light kind of like the clouds move out of the way and the sun is right there shining. Free cloud.
No price needed for like 5 years. Cause silly bitches running round. Cause the block got the dick in the pub and the visa. Sometimes can't tell what type of amnesia. I just need a dirty martini to be a leader.
So that was by Coco and Claire. That was from their album Girl. All of these songs came out in 2024, except for maybe like Holding the Speaker by Little Texas, Plumbers by Little Darky, and Was I Ever Alone by Twist. These songs, like every single song from Girl, that is an amazing album. That is also an album that I feel like is banger after banger after banger after banger. But Martini, that is the song that we just listened to. That is the opening song to the album. It sounds so light and free and fun and girly and pop.
Shopping, clubbing, nightlife, food, hanging out.
What a way to open up the album. This next song was such a surprise for me from this artist. Most of the songs that I listened to from her kind of had like a heavier vibe, like I'm upset over blah blah blah. But no, not this one. This one is called Time of Our Life, and I just could not help but look back to a time where I spent like most of the year drunk, but I was with my friend and her mom. I would never take back that time for anything. I think it was fun. I think it lived out its purpose. You know, even if the alcohol like led me down a nastier path later, which wasn't even like something I personally wanted. It was out of pure resilience. It was out of desperation for things to change. I think the purpose that it had during that era was so deeply goated. I would never take it back for anything because we shared a lot of memories together. You know, we were messy together. It was something that I will always hold so deeply to my heart. I'll never forget going over there, it being July the 4th. I had never spent more than like one day at somebody's house, like spending the night. And I spent like the whole weekend plus maybe another day at their house, and it was just fun. They loved me. They treated me like family. I was literally one of them, and I will just never forget the whole entire experience of being able to like wake up and go to like the pool in the subdivision that they lived in just by myself. I was like, you guys, I'm gonna go listen to Demi Lovato, The Art of Starting Over, and sit by this pool and be in the sun. And being able to go back and like join them and listen to what they would do while I was gone and just listen to the stories that they would tell. It was so fun. It was so chaotic, and they treated me like I was one of their own. I'll never forget my friend always running. She was such a lightweight. She would always go to the sink and vomit in it, and I don't know why she would do the sink. Me and her mom always questioned. We said, why the sink every time? Because the toilet is right there, or a trash can. And I'll never forget waking up and going and finding a random Diet Coke can in the sink, because Diet Coke was our favorite drinks. And I just couldn't comprehend why the Diet Coke was upside down in the sink where the garbage disposal is. So this song is called Time of Our Life. I feel like it is such a perfect kind of full circle moment, kind of honoring that time. And it may have seemed messy at the time, but it seemed very important to my character development, at least personally. This is a fun, upbeat song.
Got a messy reputation on a trampoline. Something new that we're taking it as Halloween. I remember it only being 17. Shot my pussy, went to Paris with the cash it brought. Spent the last of it on coke from someone back in Prague. Only the good die young. It's not honestly never was until we young and alive. So now the words are coming was the time of my life, the leather shorts. Used to kiss and cards when you couldn't drive. Sitting down when you think it's gone in a blank. Remember to everything pink. Until you're young and me, couldn't drive. You tell bottles of wine, living alone. Sitting down when you think it's gone in a
Nah, because when you're living in the moment, sometimes it seems so like horrible. And I don't want to say I thought it was horrible at the time, but like when you look back, you know, when you're in the moment, sometimes you do sink. When you think. It is a blip in the line. You know, it's just a tiny little moment. And it was the time of my life. I look back and I'm like, I'm glad I did that. It may have seemed messy. I may have been drunk, like, so much. But I was having so much fun. I was literally dancing in my room. I was letting out so much hurt just to myself on a camera. I was just talking to myself. I was like, these people hurt me. These people disrespected me. This makes me angry, and that's cathartic. Anger is such a normal emotion. It would be dangerous if we didn't let it out. And when that summer passed, I had never felt so like calm. I felt so good after letting it all out. And I haven't felt angry about it since. If I do feel angry about it, it literally is such a small instance. And I'm like, girl, shut up. It's fine. You're not around them anymore. So I'm really glad I got to have that experience with my friend, somebody who did stay with me for a very long time, a very good friend, her and her mother. I will always love them dearly. I hope they're out there somewhere, thriving. It was the time of my life. So these are the last two songs. This next one is also by That Kid from TK Ultra, a banger. And then we have a song by Sophie, a legendary progressive artist. This song I had listened to, it had leaked, I don't know, maybe back in like 2020 or something. And it was one of my favorite songs. It was originally a 10-minute long song. I wish they would have kept a 10-minute long version in this album because her brother basically mastered the album, but he said that he wanted to keep the vision as original as possible. And I 100% believe that. I listened to the album because he said it was basically done. All he had to do was go in and master it. And anybody that knows Sophie, like truly, I'm not saying I was best friends texting Sophie, but if you listen to her music fully all the way through, you would know this was 100% Sophie coded. She was a legendary and still is a legendary progressive artist. I listened to her music the first time and I thought to myself, holy shit, I've never heard anything like this in my whole entire life. And this song is just so beautiful. I remember listening to it back in 2020 and feeling a deep love for it. I think it's a beautiful song. I think the production on it and the lyrical content is just so full of love. And it's even crazier listening to it today. You know, people were complaining when this album came out. They were like, this isn't Sophie. This is boring. And I'm like, bitch, did you even listen to the remix album of I Love Everyone's Uninsides? Because there was definitely some ambience going on there. You stupid motherfucker. Because the Dome's Protection, I cannot lie. When I heard the Dome's Protection the first time, you know, I was just having a good time. But that song came on and I started sobbing. I was like, this has her name written all over it. This is not the Dome's Protection, but this is the song that came out in that leaked in 2020 and, you know, got released on this album, her sophomore album that she was working on before she passed away. I love it so deeply. That was one of my favorite songs that I had listened to. I feel like it resonates very deeply with like love and like always kind of like clinging on to that. I will love you no matter what. Even if we're not like actively in each other's presence, I will always hold you so deeply in my heart forever. And even if we can't be together, sometimes I wish I could just hold you anyways. And even if it's not fair, even if it doesn't make sense, I wish I could still just pick you up and be like, man, I love you. But this is Do It All Night by That Kid. You didn't have to go that hard. This is My Forever by Sophie and Cecile Believe. Damn, I wish they would have kept it at 10 minutes, but it is kind of at a sweet spot. That goes out to all the people that I still love today. And I'm sure, you know, I love the dreaminess of that song. And it feels like kind of a slow ache of like, I wish I could hold you forever. I hate how that like we can't stay together. If I had it my way, I would hold you forever, but that's just not how things are. And I will always love you forever. Anyone that isn't in my life anymore, you know, I will never not hold that love for that person. And I think that's something so beautiful about that song, is kind of getting to like, you know, feel, you know, the kind of love, but like this like bittersweet moment. It was so crazy to like see these songs finally get released, especially on streaming. I remember getting the notification in like July or June of 2024 of like them releasing their song with BC Kingdom and Kim Petras, Reason Why, another song that I love so deeply by Sophie. And I was driving, and I don't condone this, but I got the notification and I just so happened to see it, and I was like, what the fuck? I had to like pull over to the side of the road, and I was like, holy shit, is this real? They're actually like releasing Sophie's music? So it was really cathartic and really heartwarming to kind of, you know, be able to see My Forever on streaming, because out of all the Sophie songs that I've ever wanted released on streaming, that was probably one that I wanted the most. I love it so deeply. It means so much to me, and it really does have like such a bittersweet feeling of like wanting to hold something or somebody for so long and forever, but being like having this like ache, this like heartbreaking ache of like, this just can't happen, you know, for like whatever reason. I don't know why. Maybe the timeline contract is up. You know, we can't really do that, but we can hold the love that we have for each other forever and ever and ever. So I think it's really beautiful to have that song and to have it like, kind of crystallized forever in a certain form. So that was the end of the September the 24th, 2024 playlist. We only got to guess on the car ride to the the hospital, but obviously I'm still here because I don't want to fucking do this. God is fucking ruthless. So please remember that anytime that you don't want to do something, anytime anyone's trying to kick you down, anytime that somebody tries to tell you that you can't do something, please just know that that's not true. You are 100% capable. You can get what you want. And I believe in you. So many people believe in you. People you haven't even met yet believe in you. There are so many people that you haven't met that love you so deeply. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you next time, and peace out.